Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Liebe Geft. I'm the director of the Museum of Tolerance, and we're very honored to host this most unusual and special event here at the museum today, to accept and to install a tribute to the memory of all those who perished in the Holocaust, and to keep alive the history, not only of the victims, the survivors, but the message that all of us need to continue to learn as a result of this horrendous history. We are going to formally cut a ribbon to install this composition here in the museum, and then go down to the Youth Action Lab, where Mr. Fischl has kindly invited everyone to a reception, and there we'll have the opportunity to hear some more of the story behind this passionate labor of love, and some words of tribute from many of you who are also here today. The fourth floor of the Museum of Tolerance is a place of distinction. It is here that the Board of Trustees meets on a quarterly basis, where all of the school groups visit on their way to the cafeteria, a time to contemplate and reflect upon what they have seen in the museum, and understand something about the world in which we live and our role of responsibility in it. And so we are pleased to place this installation amongst them with a special dedication and tribute in loving memory of your father and all of those who perished in the Holocaust, and with recognition and tribute to your unrelenting passion, Peter, that has insisted that this story be told and retold and understood and remembered in the most poetic and visual way. Okay? You write in that now famous poem that accompanies a very well-known and chilling photograph. And in that poem you say that if you were an artist, you would paint something so dramatic that all the world that refused to see and hear and respond would do something. And if you were a composer, you would write a symphony that would be louder than thousands of trumpets, and all the ears that felt deaf would be forced to listen and wake up. Through your dedicated efforts, year after year, you have raised that awareness. You are both an artist and a composer, and we are proud to continue the resonance of that symphony and the visual impact of that artistic creation here at the museum. The fight is won when we stand proud and are assured of our continuity as a people, as a faith, as a religion, and as an Or LaGoyim, a light unto the nations. There are many people here who are going to share some of their reflections, and it's my honor and pleasure to call upon a most esteemed colleague, Dr. Michael Berenbaum, internationally renowned as a Holocaust scholar, to say a few words. Dr. Berenbaum.
And one of the issues that we have that we will all face is the question that we all know is happening, and is happening too quickly, but is going to leave us all with a void. And that is, what are we going to do without the presence of survivors and without the moral anchor that they have given to the cause of remembrance? And Peter, what you've done in enhancing this with your poetry, your own contribution, is to see it through the eyes of one who experienced that powerlessness, of one who experienced that victimization, and one who understands that the photograph is a plea for human decency and human dignity. And the survivor who gave voice to that photograph is an eloquent poet for human dignity, human decency, and for the fact that Jewish children should be able to dance, enjoy, and sing with glee, and not to hold their hands up for fear of annihilation. Congratulations, and congratulations to the Wiesenthal Center for making a home for this particular and unique work.
I'm going to try to explain who these people are in the picture. The one question that has been asked so many times is, who is this boy? On the one hand, it doesn't really matter, because that boy stands for a generation that was going to be wiped out. It stands for the attack on innocence by thugs and brutes with hatred in their heart. On the other hand, on a historical basis, it will be interesting to find out who this young boy was. I know of 4 cases in which identifications have been made. In 2 of them, the boy did not survive. In 2 others, he did. Another interesting part of this picture is the SS man guarding him. We do know for a fact who that was. His man was Josef Blöcher. He was tried to a large extent on the evidence of this picture for war crimes in Erfurt, Germany in 1969. He was convicted of war crimes and he was executed. As Dr. Birnbaum had previously told us, there is no picture that has been reproduced more about the Holocaust than this one. And yet, if one takes a look at the picture, there is no death. There will be. The fear is for the future. And I think that's one of the greatnesses of this particular icon. Having said that, I want to once again congratulate Mr. Fischl, who's made it now his life's work to commemorate the Holocaust, because let us face it, we are in a battle for memory today. There are those who 60 years after the Holocaust are not only ready to trivialize it, but some to forget it and others to deny it. With people like you, that will not happen. And thank you once again.
And as I look at this picture, this could be Eva Braun, and I was a little bit older. The Nazi soldier pointed the gun at me many times. After 61 years, I'm able to tell the story today that many times the gun is pointed at you, and you still can become an old woman and speak at the Museum of Tolerance and honor Peter Fischl and his work. So I want to thank the Museum of Tolerance, the leadership that gives us a platform so we can express ourselves and remember what happened to us, because we each have a story to tell. And because so many educators deny that the Holocaust happened, I have a tattoo number on my arm from Auschwitz, and that's an identification that I've been there.
It hardly seems like maybe 2 months ago since I first met you, and yet it's been 14 years. When I first met you at the coffee shop, and we got to be friends, and eventually I worked on your book with you. And the one quality that I've learned from you all these years is your quality of love. And that, my friend, is the real fuel of your creativity.
I am co-facilitator of the Holocaust Network with Brian Kahn for the Association of Supervision and Curriculum Development, and we do presentations every year to Holocaust educators at the conferences that we have. And we also had done a presentation on using Holocaust poetry to teach a Holocaust, and we've written an article on using poetry to teach a Holocaust. And of course, when you think of Holocaust poetry, the first poem that comes to mind is Peter's poem.
People don't like to admit that they are desperate. I am. Hi, Michael. Hi. He wants to speak also. Okay. Go back, please, to your mommy, okay? And yes. I think he's complaining that I have an accent. Can't help it. Well, I'm so glad that the Museum of Tolerance with Director Liebe Geft gave me the opportunity, and God bless you all here, and thank you very much for coming, you all my friends, and thank you Marlene Heyer, who's been helping me for about 17 years. And God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.